Welcome to Reset Your Inner Clock. Today's guest is Peggy Shaner.
Hi, I'm Rosalind Poon, and welcome to Reset Your Inner Clock and Live Younger Longer. And today we have an actual living example of this, the incredible Peggy Shaner. Hi, Peggy.
Hi.
Isn't she gorgeous? She's always like this.
Thank you.
Thank you, so darling. Peggy, for those of you who don't know, is a definite entrepreneur. She's also a trailblazer. And in fact, what I recently heard was that Peggy founded and built the Pahrump Valley Vineyards, which is the only vineyards in Nevada.
Well, at the time,
At
it
the
was
time.
the only winery in the state of Nevada.
Wow.
Because there were blue laws on the books that prevented a winery from being in Nevada because the liquor distributors and the casinos didn't want an alcohol producer to come into the state of Nevada and undercut their pricing, you see.
Got it.
So I had to get the law changed to allow me to build the winery in the first place. That was a 2-year project, but here it is.
And how many years ago was that?
I broke ground in 1991, I believe.
Wow, so 19... That's when I took up motorsport, but that's another
There
story.
you go.
So 1991, Peggy, yes, you did all of this. And so you went up against some pretty interesting people.
Yes,
in the process.
the state legislators in Nevada.
They all know you.
They have a very quirky system there, and I learned how to get around it, under it, over it, got it done.
I love it. So this, I mean, you've been an entrepreneur for quite some time.
Yes.
So with your winery, what are some of the interesting things about them? Why would you start a winery? I mean, your mother also has a business, or did have a business in Pahrump. So it's a family exercise.
Well, Nevada's a very wonderful, strange, fun state.
Yes.
And in this state, prostitution is
Yes.
legal.
Like Australia.
There you go.
There.
And so my mother ran Sherry's Ranch. She was the madam.
Wow.
And she was located on the far end of one of the main roads
Yes.
in Pahrump.
Mm-hmm.
The winery was located on the other side of the same road.
Okay.
And so what would happen is when the visitors would go to the brothel, sometimes they would make a wrong turn on that particular road.
And is that
they
because-
would end up at the winery.
Oh yeah, because being a winery, you've got all sorts of lights and things and...
Yeah, I had
Yes.
a big building up on the mountain with all the lights and everything, and they drove up at night,
these are
and they
added-
saw the lights and they went towards it. Actually, the brothels were the other way where Mom was, and I was over at the winery, and they would come up and bang on the door and say,
Oh my goodness.
"Bring out the prostitutes!" And I would call my mom on the phone and say, "Mom, you got some of your customers here. I'm going to sell them a case of wine." And then they'll head down the road, and she'll say, "That's great. I have a few guys that are just now leaving. I'll send them down to the winery, and you can sell them some more wine." We had a thing going on.
This is called in
Cross-marketing.
marketing. It's cross-selling and cross-marketing. That's right. I mean,
Absolutely.
and this is fantastic. So
It was fun.
And I'm sure some of the people that knocked on your door late at night were quite interesting because they would have all probably been out of state.
Well,
You can't
they
mention
came.
any names that will get you into trouble.
They came from Las Vegas, first of all, because
Yes.
it's only an hour's drive from Las
Oh, of
Vegas,
course.
you see.
Yes.
And what would happen is NASCAR races in Las Vegas, MGM would have a fight, a boxing fight or something like that. They would be all testosteroned up and come banging on the winery door. "Let us in, where's the prostitutes?" And I would open the door and they'd go, "Yeah!" And I'd go, "No! You're at the winery, you're not at the brothel. The brothel's down the street where my mom is waiting for you." And they, "Your mother, don't worry, she's just the madam."
That's right.
You know, so,
Oh my God.
yeah, it was
This-
kind of fun.
We should talk about writing a film for this. So you did this for quite some time, for 10 years.
Yes.
And then
yes.
you sold the business.
Yes.
And you said something about, is it because you had an ambition to retire?
I wanted to retire before 50.
Before 50, ladies and gentlemen.
I wanted to retire before 50. Why? I don't know, but that's just the way I thought at the time.
Was that how you did it?
I retired at 48. I sold the winery and retired at 48, yeah.
So you're an overachiever? Definitely an overachiever.
Maybe.
Yes. That's right. So you wanted to retire, and this was because, what, at 50, when you're looking ahead, you thought 50 was old and that was the time to retire and get out?
I thought half a century was just way too long to be working.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Then I realized when I did sell the business and moved to Las Vegas that I was not really old. I didn't feel old.
No.
And I didn't want to get old. So what I did was I thought, I'm going to start a little business here, a little, maybe part-time, just to keep my mind going.
That's a great idea, yes.
You got to keep mentally and intellectually active or you'll freeze up.
That's right.
Same thing, if you don't work your body and walk and do whatever, your muscles and your joints are going to freeze up, and before you know it, you're in a walker with tennis balls on the bottom. I didn't want that.
I should explain to everybody here. Peggy is a dear friend of mine, but she has not read my book. Okay, but the reason we've got Peggy on is because she doesn't really need to read the book, because she's, like I said, a living example of this. And when we talk about it, sort of this whole business of aging, I mean, how have you managed to do it? What things do you do to make sure that you do live younger for longer?
You know, I approach it like a job. It's my job to be young. And so I make sure that I am in an environment that supports youthful things. Where else but Las Vegas can you be so active, have so much fun. There's so many young people. The shows are great. And if you become engaged in a fun environment, you get it through osmosis. You absorb the fun. You absorb the action. You become part of your environment.
So what you're saying is, to you, living younger longer is a deliberate act. That's
Absolutely.
On your mind. That's what you're going to do.
You have to create that for yourself. I have to pick up the phone and say, hey, honey, there's a great show Saturday night. Let's go. I'm too tired. No. Get your suit on. I'm going to get all dolled up. We are going out, and we're going to have a great time.
That's fantastic.
And I at least once every weekend, I will find something fun and great to do. I aim for Friday night and Saturday night, but sometimes I get tired and I can't, do 2 or 3 nights a week, but at least minimum, one night a week, go out, do something sociable with your friends, get out there and act like you're young. It's my philosophy to act as if.
Act as if
I'm young. And then I will be young.
Well, you are.
I am young.
And speaking of friends, off camera, you mentioned this quirky little thing about friends and about how you were saying your mother, who passed away at 89, she had this interesting thing with her friends, and how you have a different point of view.
You know, sometimes you can learn more from people about what not to do.
Isn't that the truth?
Than what to do.
Right, yes.
My mother, it just seems so counterproductive to me, but as she got older, the last couple decades in her life, all of her friends were dying. I mean, when you're 89, what else do your friends do,
that's
right?
True,
they
that's
die.
True. Yes.
And so what she would do is she would write down their name, make a list of every friend that died, what the date of their death was, what they died of, how many years she knew them. It was like a glossary. And her world started to shrink. It got smaller and smaller, and she got more depressed and sadder. And I thought, man, I am never going to do that.
Girl.
Matter of fact, when my friends die, I'm going to replace them, and I'm going to replace them with somebody younger.
Did you hear that? That's what I thought was amazing.
And that's what I do.
And that's what she does. So
every time a friend dies, and Rita died last July, bladder cancer, dear friend, I'm friends for 50 years. And when she died in June, I gave myself to the end of the year to get a new friend to replace her, but younger. And I did. And
it's
her
not
name was Wanda.
And it's not because you have one friend. You do this. You have
Every
friends
time.
everywhere. It's
Every
right.
time. I've got friends everywhere.
So what Peggy's doing is an incredible thing. She's actually, instead of her network dying off and her world becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, she's actually
doing the opposite.
repopulating her network.
Yes.
With more younger, more active people.
Yes.
And so it continues. It just rubs off, doesn't it? Because that's your
You
environment.
know, friends contribute to the quality of your life.
They do. Yes.
And the more diverse your friends are, it's like a buffet. You go to a buffet
Yes.
and you eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you try this and you try. You don't want to eat everything that you've always eaten all your life.
Exactly.
And so when I meet people, I try to meet people who are different than me.
Yes.
Because if you have a friend and all you're interested in them for is to be a reflection of yourself.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
You know, why would you like somebody
That's right.
just to reflect who you are?
That's true.
If you and I are the
Yes.
same, one of us doesn't need to be here,
I love it.
right?
I think.
Right?
I think
And
that's
I'll tell you what I
fabulous.
found out about developing friends.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, please.
I found that you can make more friends in 2 months
Yes.
than you can make. Let me reword. You can make more friends in 2 months by being interested in them
Yes.
more so than you can do in 2 years by trying to get people to be interested in you.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Certainly does.
You know what I mean?
think-
So
I think
when
so.
I meet people, I focus on them. Who are they? What are they like? Would I learn anything from
Wow.
them? What do they bring to my
Yes.
party? You know,
So you
type of thing.
You really are an all-thinking woman. I mean, you think about everything.
I analyze everything. That's why I'm a bookkeeper. these days.
Peggy has a bookkeeping company and all sorts of things, which we can talk at another time. But so the incredible thing is what I really want people to understand is that Peggy has retired at 48, 2 years ahead of when she thought she was going to be old at 50, which I have to tell everyone now is over 20 years ago now, right?
Oh.
And in the last 20 years, she's actively redeveloped her entire world, yes, and has an incredible business. And in fact, you're part of the whole new sort of marijuana industry in Las Vegas, one of the pioneers in the accounting and bookkeeping and auditing side, which is horrific. I mean, I don't know how you do it, but so the great thing is when we talk about it, and I think I asked you off camera, do you look into the future?
I do, yes. More
Right.
so now than ever before.
Okay, and why do you do that?
I'm 71, I'm looking down the barrel. You know, I'm looking down that gun barrel.
Yes.
And I know that my time now is more limited than
Yes.
ever before.
Got it.
And so when you do age, you start thinking about the future.
Yes.
I mean, when you're 30, you think you're going to live forever, so
Well,
you're
that's
really
true.
not concerned about it.
Yes.
So now I do focus on the next 30 years, I
Yes.
hope, because I want a 100th birthday party.
Yes.
I have never attended a 100th birthday party. I'm going
Oh.
to attend my own. And I know
Right.
I've already planned where it's going
Yes.
to be and the whole
And
bit.
Bunker's
Anyway.
going to design the dress for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes, but in order to reach that goal of my
Yes.
100th birthday, there's a lot of things I have to do to ensure that I get there.
And that's
You
just-
got to make a plan, you got to have a strategy, and I work at it
Yes.
every day, and it includes a little exercise. And I hate the gym, but I found an exercise that people can do that helps them live
Yes.
longer and still move their body around.
Yes.
That's not too hard.
Yep.
And it's a cycle, it's cycling, and so it's low
So
impact. You
Peggy
don't
goes
hurt
to
your
spin
knees.
classes twice a week.
Spin class Tuesdays and Thursdays, just 1 hour.
Yes.
But you know, you can set the resistance on the bike, and so nobody knows. They don't know how hard you're pedaling. And so you can work
love it.
really hard, or
Yes.
you can fake it.
But the point
But
is
the
you're
point
going.
is, you're moving. You're
Yes.
moving. Your joints are
Yes.
moving. And on a cycle, you don't have to worry about impact, you
Yes,
see.
got it.
It's just gliding. So your knees are safe, your hips are safe, your back is
Wow.
safe. And so that's what I do. And then one morning every week I walk. I had a personal trainer tell me that the best exercise you can ever do is walking, and it's free. And I said, why is that the
Yes.
best? And he said, because you move every part of your body. Your feet, your legs, your back, your pelvis, your arms, every part of your body moves
Yes.
when you're walking. And you don't have to pay any gym fees. Love it.
I think it's listening to Peggy. It's quite amazing because really, what we're saying here is that you have a lifestyle which is not. It's not like you become a crazy person going to the gym 7 days a week or anything like that.
I hate the gym.
Exactly. So what you're doing is you've worked out what works for you.
I found an exercise that's easy to do
Yes.
or hard, and you have control
And that's it. You have control.
over how hard or easy
Yes.
you want it. Nobody else knows. Everybody thinks I work my ass off. I don't. I just want to move. I just want to move. That's all.
I think it's brilliant, and Peggy really is. I mean, it's when you get to meet her. If you live in Las Vegas, one day you will get to meet her, I'm sure.
Yay.
Is that she really is the real deal, and she really is living a lot younger. We in fact went to her chronological 70th birthday, which was an all-day event, by the way. And in fact, it started the night before, so we're talking about like a 24-hour event. In fact, I was exhausted by the Sunday. And I wasn't even the birthday girl. But the point is, I think that I want you to take away from this is Peggy is deliberately working at it. So she knows that
It's my job.
she's got control over it, and she's controlling it. And the great thing is, well, she retired at 48 and then realized retirement wasn't it, so she's not retiring ever again because you want to keep active, you
Yes.
want to keep doing things,
Yes.
and you have goals, and you have.
Yes.
And what I think the great thing is that when an old friend dies, you actually replace them. I think,
Absolutely.
wow, I think that's fantastic.
Listen, when I get a new outfit, I take one out of the closet and throw it away.
Oh my goodness.
You know, you gotta refresh. You gotta
refresh.
recycle
Yes,
all the time,
refresh.
all the
I like
time.
it, refresh. Thank you very much, Peggy. It was lovely having you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay.
And thank you. Bye.